Atheism is much more of a philosophical question than a scientific question, first off. And atheists have a question with, well, what created anything at all, indeed? In other words, if there was something that started at all, what started that something? And what started that, and what started that? There always has to be a before. If you want to have a start to time, any start to time, then you have to have something happen before then to start time, which is a time. To start time, you're literally describing an event that happens at a time when there is no time. So it's quite contradictory to start time. We talk about Big Bang theories as well, and we talk about, only the Christians talk about that as a start to time. Many Big Bang theories exist that talk about an oscillating universe, which reverses in a big crunch. The oscillating universes of a big crunch go on indefinitely. There's no mass or energy lost. And all these are theoretical. I believe that there's competing theories with respect to many little bangs in comparison to a big bang. And I suspect eventually you'll see a constant flowing river of little bangs that have been going on for an awful long time, slowly eaten up by black holes, or redistributed energy, if you prefer. So really I think that it's an ongoing cycle of energy, and without much purpose. I think that as soon as we invoke purpose, then we need what would be called a mind. And a mind that I've seen, or that anybody that I've been able to see, can only be shown if there's a biological brain. And the only biological brains that have been witnessed are on the Earth. They're earthbound. To this point, I don't leave the impossibility of alien life or even gods, but we have no evidence of it. So I'd like to propose to you that atheist arguments don't rely on carbon dating and ignorance as you suggest, and it's rather presumptuous to speak on behalf of all atheists, or the great majority of atheists. I'm an atheist and I make videos on atheism, and I wouldn't dream of declaring what most atheists think, other than they believe there's no God. Now, of course, the essence of this argument proposed wasn't just solely based on the fact that they would be ignorant about carbon dating arguments or what atheist arguments are. They would be based on ignorance in the respect of just ascending to an authority figure in the same way that a fundamentalist does. Again, this is something I would contest in respect to that the logic is there to be argued and seen and compared to by anybody. Anybody can look at that and say to themselves, well, yes or no for themselves. So again, the arguments are involving time existing before time exists. Can anything exist before it exists? And in the case of time, well, apparently it must to start time. You have to have something happening before time, and why that wouldn't be a time would be a question. So the problem of time existing before time exists in order to start time has yet to be explained to me, and why I don't believe there was ever a start to time, that mass and space and time always existed. And if so, again, there'd be no creator. So these arguments of the age of the universe, I think that they really mean, by the most widely accepted theory of the Big Bang, includes the Big Crunch, and they mean since the last Big Crunch. They don't mean forever and ever. And this misconception, again, is only something that believers do, and why atheists should have to even answer to arguments they don't even hold to is beyond me. It's with a complete misunderstanding on the believer's part, and there is no such case of carbon dating problems for atheists, and or listening to these arguments that they just ascend to authority figures in the same way like the sheep. I'm sorry. The other two issues raised were about, it's all about behavior, and also about how it's about evolution, apparently, as well. After that, I didn't really want to watch the video much more. It put me off. But it is certainly not about behavior. Behavior is the issue of believers only. Atheists believe there's no God. That's it. They don't have to believe anything about behavior, or evolution, for that matter. With respect to evolution, most people who believe in evolution also believe in God. How this has anything to do with atheism is beyond me. Maybe you could explain what evolution has to do with atheism. It's only the fundamentalist Christian who has a problem with evolution. Most people, including the Catholic Church under Pope John Paul, recognized evolution. The Catholic Church recognizes evolution. How does this help atheism? It doesn't. They obviously believe that God created evolution. People that get stuck in the evolution thing are not thinking. Most people who believe in evolution are believers. It does nothing for atheism. It has nothing to do with atheism.